The moment you start to do that which God did not call you to do, that's trespassing. The Bible speaks of Uzziah that he was one of the best kings to ever rise in Israel. He did a lot of reformations in Israel, but he made one mistake. He entered the temple so that the fire was not burning in the temple. I told you that the fire that was burning in the temple was not burning from a natural means. It was burning from God. It was the same fire, and God wanted the same fire throughout generations. Then he just took a matchstick and a matchbox. Then he lit the fire, and God was angry and said, no, you may see the fire burning, but it's not natural. It's spiritual fire. And God had to slay Uzziah. Why? Because he just strayed from being a king to become a priest. Forgive us, oh God. What is sin? Sin is violating the known will of God. When I just violate the known will of God, that's sin. Then he said that in number 11, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them who trespass against us. Come on, somebody shout, as we forgive them who trespass against us. Which means that we release others for invading our domain of purpose. Where conflict of purpose collides, which means God is saying that even though there's someone who has invaded your place and your domain of purpose, forgive them so that I forgive you. Don't hold them against the evasion. Where there is a conflict of purpose, God has called you in this particular area, there is that conflict. God is saying that forgive them as I'm going to forgive you. I don't know if I'm talking to somebody in this place. Then he said, lead us not into temptation. Come on, somebody shout, lead us not into temptation. Now he's saying, help us. Just imagine, the whole prayer is lead us. Our Father, it's a corporate prayer. So it will, which means help us to follow your spirits and discernment. Lead us not into temptation by submitting ourselves to the protection of God's will and authority. Lead us not into temptation. What is temptation? Temptation is testing the boundaries of God's will and limitations for our lives. When we test the boundaries of God's will, we now turn to God. So we are saying, lead us not into that temptation. Number 13, deliver us from evil one. Come on, somebody shout, deliver us from evil one. Which means keep us from the path of the influence of the adversary. Keep us from the path of the influence of the adversary. Deliver us from the evil one. We all need to be delivered from the evil one. Who is this evil one? Evil one is the one who will distract you or me from God's purpose and will. If there is anyone who distracts you and me from number one, God's purpose, God's will, that one becomes an evil one. So he's saying now, deliver us from such people, because there is a purpose that is predetermined for you and me on this earth that is godly, that is not subjected or pushed or motivated and inspired by what we are going through. I may be working in a factory. Why? Because of what I'm going through in South Africa. I need rent, I need to pay bills. But there's a purpose that precedes that, which God has called me for. Which means whatever I'm doing which is good is not the right thing according to God. I may be doing a good thing, but pray that God may show you the right thing to do. Yes. The temptation is doing good things, but not the right things. Yes. And when God is going to bless you, He blesses you on the auspices of the right thing that you've done, not only the good. I don't know if I'm talking to someone in this place. Yes. Do the right thing, not the good thing. Doing the right thing is now walking in God's purpose, not distracting other people, submitting to God's spirit. And after I submit to God's spirit, He then now give me victory against the adversary. So when I submit myself under the auspices of God's word, then there's victory against the adversary. I don't know if I'm talking to somebody in this place. Then number 14, he says that for yours is the kingdom. Come on, somebody shout, for yours is the kingdom.
For yours is the kingdom.
All along he was saying, us, ours, us, ours, us, ours. He then said now,